Welcome everybody to the 2024 Football Press Conference sponsored by Moe's. Today joining us is head coach Atiba Bradley, linebacker Colton Bass, and wide receiver Draper Parker. Coming up first to the stand is Coach Atiba Bradley with opening statements.
Good afternoon. Appreciate everybody being here. We got to get to a point where these opening statements aren't so somber. But came off a tough loss to a number 3 Pitt State. I was proud of the way our guys started out and we competed. I thought we went toe-to-toe for 3 out of the 4 quarters. That second quarter was really the difference in the ball game. But our guys came out. You saw it. You couldn't have scripted a better beginning. But like good teams do, they raised their level, and we weren't quite able to match that level and stay with them through the course of the football game. We licked our wounds on Sunday, and now we kind of turned the page to a Missouri Western football team that's almost similar to us in that they graduated a lot of production, and so they have new guys stepping up, and they're trying to find where some of those guys fit in, and they're 1-1. Played a really tough game versus Northeastern, and then came back and played another tough game against Fort Hays. And so thus is the MIAA. The grind, the gauntlet begins, and we're excited to go up to St. Joe this Saturday and play a good football team.
Coach, after getting off to such a fast start and for last Saturday's game against Pitt State, from there on out, I mean, you kind of had the momentum swing right off the start of the game. I mean, what kind of happened from that point on?
Yeah, I mean that's football games. There's going to be in good games there's the ebb and flow, give and take, and so early we had the momentum, and then they, like I said, like a good football team does, they answered, and then they were able to kind of come back, and the chess match began. And second quarter felt like they had the advantage. We go into half, we talk about it, we sit down, we scheme it up, and then we came out, and the third quarter was even 0-0, and then they were able to finish it off in the fourth.
You know, what were kind of some of the challenges getting the run game going in that first half?
That's a good front. They play that bear front with the nose right over the center. They move him around a little bit, and that makes it challenging for our O-linemen to be able to combo up to the second level. And so that it's an aggressive style, and they do a good job with it.
You know, what are kind of some of the things you guys need to clean up going into that game against Missouri Western on the road next week?
Really we just need to continue to get better. I'm excited that this will be the first time that we have the same starters going into the next week. You know, we added Deontay back, we added Akeem back. On defense, we moved our back end around from the first game to the second game. So we'll have some continuity going from game 1 or game 2 to game 3 in terms of our 2 deep.
Going against a team like Mo West, a team you say has a lot of roster turnover, but what's kind of the game plan, kind of attacking them from that standpoint?
Yeah, the recipe is still the same. Offensively, we want to be able to be balanced. We want to be able to run the ball so that it opens up our play actions. It gives our guys on the perimeter man coverage so that we can take advantage of some of the matchups that we might have. Defensively, we want to keep the ball in front of us and limit them on big plays, truly make them work to get down the field.
Coach, talk about the big plays that Pitt State was able to get off on the offense. That really seems to be that was the momentum killer.
Yeah, honestly, when you take, I think, 3 of their plays, the flea flicker, the reverse, and the long run in the first quarter, I mean, 3 plays really accounted for almost 30% of their offense, which tells me the defense did a decent job. We just allow what we call explosives. And we've got to limit those and make the offense work, make the opponent's offense work harder to get down the field.
Are we healthy going into Mo Western?
We're as healthy as we can be. No, we came out of that game, didn't lose anybody, and that's what I was saying. I'm excited that for now we can go 2 weeks in a row with the same lineup and let those guys get some chemistry and continuity together and play better.
Coach, you knocked Missouri Western out of the playoffs last year. They took it on the chin last week against Fort Hays State. Yeah. They're going to be coming in with some chips on their shoulders. How are your chips?
Yeah. No, listen. If you're in this league, you have a resting chip that never leaves until you win the conference, until you dominate everybody week in and week out. There's always something to go out and prove. And We did, we had a good game last year, but there's a lot of guys from last year on both teams that aren't playing. So it's a new game, it's a new team, and like you said, we've got our own chip that we'll be trying to satisfy that hunger to get that first win. Absolutely, appreciate it.
What's up? I'm Colton Bass, junior linebacker. I'm studying accounting, and after school, I want to be an accountant.
Hey, Colton, get a big interception Saturday. I'm sure that felt great, especially against an opponent like that. But talk about what it's like in that linebacker room. You guys seem to feed off each other. You get an interception, but the whole group seemed to feel that success of a play like that.
Yeah, for sure. I think that what we have in the linebacker room is really good. We have a lot of chemistry. Everybody gets along, We just try to make big plays, and that help the team win.
What were kind of the challenging things from last week's game, guys kind of picked up there in the first half?
I just think, it's really about us, and we made a few too many mistakes that we can't have if we're going to beat teams like Pitt. So,
going against another good team like Mo West, a lot of roster turnover, like I mentioned with Coach Bradley. I mean, what are kind of things on defense you guys need to do to kind of go attack, kind of a new quarterback that you guys will be facing this time around compared to last year?
Yeah, again, I think we just need to focus on ourselves and just work on getting to our potential and putting that out on the field this week.
Going on the road, going against, Mo West again, what were kind of some positives you can take away from last week's game going to this week?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely had some good plays too, and we're just going to try to stack those together and get some stops so that way we can get off the field.
How's it going? I'm Draper Parker, redshirt junior. My major is sports recreation and management, and after school I want to be a coach.
Draper, man, just kind of talk about, just kind of your role in this team. How has been the Missouri Southern line being a big impact on this offense so far? I mean, just kind of talk about, some of the positives you've taken away from this season.
I have to say, it's truly an honor to, be able to contribute finally. Of course, every tunnel is, dark until you reach the end. So, my biggest thing was just sticking through it. And, my position now, I'm able to do what my purpose coming here. So, it feels good being able to contribute to the team and doing the best I can, doing the best of my ability to at least help us to try and get a win, which, I know it's going to come. So,
being kind of already Luke Sampson's number one receiver, just talk about kind of your connection early on so far this season.
We definitely had to work on it in the off season, and that's what we did. So, I have to say, it's there. Yeah, it's there.
Going to next week's game against Mo West, what were you really looking forward to in that game on the road?
Really just eliminating the small mistakes, getting into the little details. That's really what's holding us back, is we can compete with anybody, but this is a tough conference, so now it starts to dial down to the small things, the small details, and that's what we have to work on. So.
You should talk about some of the tough opponents you play in this conference. What are kind of the positives you guys can take going against other MIAA opponents for the rest of the year?
Well, we've shown that we can compete with anybody in this conference. Like I said, it's just coming down to the small details. Once we eliminate them, it's free game. It's free game. So, I really wouldn't have to say it. I really wouldn't have to say it.
You heard me ask Colton about the linebacker room. What's that wide receiver room like? You guys, you scored that touchdown. Everybody, that whole group was so excited. It had to feel great. But talk about what that room is like and what that group of guys are like that you get to spend every day with.
It's a great group. It's definitely one of the best that I have been a part of, just off the simple fact that we all connect with each other. We all look to help each other get better every day in and day out. So I feel like I have a great supporting cast behind me, and that drives me and pushes me to want to do better for my teammates, not just for my receiving room, but for my teammates, everybody on the staff. So.
That was a packed house and then some Saturday night. Talk about what it's like to play in that kind of environment.
The environment was unreal. I had a feeling it was gonna be packed. It kind of surprised me when I got out here though, but playing in an environment like that is like no other. I mean, it's something that we dreamed of once we were little kids. So just to be in that moment is, I mean, it's a blessing for real.